So this session is going to be a bit of an interesting dynamic just simply because I'm coaching two people at once. Um, so the things that I'm gonna mainly focus on is the stuff that we kind of covered over like the discussion off camera, as well as synergy between you two. Um, are you? Wait, let me just see. So we start the game. Do we start the game Doom Life Weaver here?
We start Doom Life Weaver.
Cool. So that's cool. Usually here I would basically say or ask the individuals, okay, how do we play our team comp? Obviously Doom's role is very self-explanatory, right? We hit people on rotation. We just look for isolated people and we dive, right? Um, and Lifeweaver is a bit of an interesting one because in the mid fight, Lifeweaver focuses on healing. I think this is actually the first ever Lifeweaver recorded VOD that I have on my channel, which is interesting. Um, but mid fight, Lifeweaver heavily focused on healing squishies. In terms of like pure healing output, you would want to kind of avoid the Doomfist unless you're just trying to top up the Doom. I guess the dynamic changes slightly just simply because we have a Mercy, so it's like two off healers to an extent. So you might need to care for your Doom slightly more. But in the mid fight, healing squishies is very, very valuable in general. But you do want to use our pulls for the Doomfist, right? Communicate when we do have that pull, just so our Doomfist can actually go super aggressive on one hit, knowing that they have an option to get out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I probably should ask if Ma has pull more before I hard commit
Yeah.
since Ma doesn't
So
talk, just so they can like ping yes or no.
yeah, no, that's true. It's true. Like you can just try and go for hits. Obviously, hits where you can live on your own. You always want to go for hits where you can live on your own without the support. But if you do communicate that you have a pull, that's technically a win condition. We can hard commit. We can try and go for bait blocks. Try and get that power punch, stay in for slightly longer than we would want to, just so we can pull them out. It's very similar to when you have ultimate. Okay, like you can commit extra hard, especially now that Doomfist ultimate heals him, right? So a lot of this is actually going to be in a third person view, the same way that I would coach a team because it's multiple individuals. I want to see how you set up in relation. Our Lifeweaver is slightly late. So, it's not necessarily your job in the team comp here, but just if you're playing with like a duo, and you realize that your DPS aren't doing it, you're here early, you see what the enemy are running, and you decide to chill. You decide not to go in. You might as well be pinging and just calling out enemy team comps, and that's when you should be starting to think of like the plan of your first engagement, if that makes sense. The reason why I ask people how do you play the character in the team comp initially is so they start thinking about how they want to engage the first fight. But obviously, seeing the enemy team comp, that also alters it. In the second fight, which is when most people know, okay, they have these characters, let me avoid this situation, blah, blah, blah. You need to be just thinking about that basically on the setup. So yeah, in fact, I'll ask you, if you were to see this enemy team comp right now, how do you want to take the engagement? What are you waiting for? What do you want to go on?
I want to go on that Widow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure Widow's not hitting headshots on my squishies.
Okay.
I want to be on that Widow. And I noticed they have Mercy Lucio. I know they don't have a lot of burst healing.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got Widow Hanzo, but they have a lot of one-shot potential.
Cool. Yeah, I would definitely say that's correct. So they have the one-shot potential. They don't have a lot of burst healing, like you say. What do you think that does this affect? It means, cool, you're actually able to play for frontline value because they don't have the burst healing. We can actually burn the tank very, very quickly. However, like you identified, they have that one-shot potential, so somebody needs to be going on the backline. Your team comp is very, very good. It's quite like for like when it comes to like character matchups. Tracer can go on one headshot. potential character. So Sombra can go on another headshot potential character, or the three of you can just commit to one, delete them fast, switch to the other. Triggers to look out for, things that you want to be able to hit. Obviously, you don't want to full commit, use all three abilities on a Widowmaker that has grapple up, for example. That's one thing to look out for. And yeah, I think I have a plan to actually call out things that I want to tell you for this matchup when I actually see it being relevant. So I'm not going to go into too much depth about that. With you, SMA, Smart, you basically just need to clear the headshots. Very important that you ping that they have 2 headshot potential characters, because Life Weaver's hitbox is kind of the size of a mini fridge. So that doesn't really help. We don't want our Life Weaver to just get domed, so we need to play covers, play walls, that sort of stuff. In fact, 42 seconds on the clock. This is... no. Oh, wait, I'm practice range. Okay, cool. 42 seconds on the clock. I was going to say I'm on my account without Life Weaver, but it doesn't matter if it's practice range. Just so you know, how can you play corners? How can you play walls with Life Weaver? Peeking your team. So charging up, peeking your team for a split second. The LOS can basically get cut off. The same way I can do that and look around, it's still going to be healed. They're still getting healed from that. You just need to release once you see the person. So you can charge it up, LOS, release, and it will still be healed. That's all I wanted to show from the practice range. Obviously, this session is getting recorded, but feel free to take notes as well, right? Where was it? It's Coliseum, isn't it? Ready for battle. 42 seconds.
And so I was playing Switch on this, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you play? Wait. So what things do you actually play on?
When I can, I play Xbox One. Otherwise, I'm on Switch.
So console player, you're. Oh, I see. One's console, one's PC, isn't it?
Yeah,
Almost
that's why we're in
exclusively
quick
PC.
play.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Made sense. I started as an Xbox player, if you didn't know. So it's,
I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely transferable. If you do move on. In fact, my friend Charisma, who I've coached him multiple times on my page, for example. He was a GM1 player, I believe, when I first started coaching him. I coached him into the top 100. He ended up peaking top 6 on console. He basically joined PC 2 weeks ago and he's GM1. So it's definitely transferable if you do understand the game, especially if someone that can play tank. I think Charisma is very lucky that he's a tank player because the game sense all transfers, and as long as you land like the hero specific abilities, as long as you get your mechanics good on the hero specific ones, your rank will pretty much be the same, at least on tank, as it is on console, which is always helpful.
And then I made the awful decision of maining Ana on support on Switch.
Target priority good there. The pathing took a bit slow, but as long as your team aren't like hard peeking the snipers, it's fine. Now you're 1 up. I want to see how composed you are with this pull as well. I think this would be quite interesting. Do you guys play rank then? So on your console pool, what rank actually are you? As in not together, I mean separately. Yeah.
I'm currently Diamond. I didn't rank last season because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just mentally.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But last placement was Diamond 2, I think.
Cool. And what about Smart? Plat on tanks and support, silver and DPS. Yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, you guys would be in range pretty much. So that's good. You guys would be in range when you do decide to actually get
Yeah, I'm saving up for a PC right now, but I have never played anything other than RuneScape on a computer.
You'll learn. Honestly, you're doing quite well here in terms of the value that you're providing. I'm gonna change over to Smart. Let me just see how Smart takes. I'm gonna go earlier to the fight. I want to see how Smart takes this entire engagement. What they were. So yes, right off the bat, I'm seeing Smart get hit by the Widowmaker. Of course, that would have not been an issue if we pinged it initially, right? That's a really, really important ping. That could have literally hit their head, and that would not be good. So we're playing hard cover now, like I said. And just general spam. Nothing much you can do. What you're doing very well, Doom, is attention trading, which actually allows us to take some form of space. Interesting. Okay, so main issues here. You're taking a very long time to swap between your weapons. Like right now, I wouldn't be charging up a heal. I would be damaging the Hanzo. You switch. Took a very long time. That is an unavoidable thing, right? The Sombra gets Hardstorm arrowed. We basically can't swap to heals in time. That is not something that is your fault at all. Maybe the pull, but again, that's like extremely reactive and you want to save that for the Doomfist. The good thing about Doom comps is that it's a comp revolved around trading, right? Doomfist is going to hit stuff in our backline, and our backline should low-key expect to die, whether that's our Mercy, whether that's our Life Weaver. I'm not going to lie, our Life Weaver is going to die a lot. But that's completely fine. One burst of heals, I would already have swapped to my damage. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to be trying to output this damage on the Lucio and forcing the Lucio out. You attempted to swap to heals, that's fine. You're kind of hard tunneling on your teammates, so you're trying to get that heal value, and really you get more value from one living and just dealing damage in general. I definitely think you could keep your teammates up if you try and swap to heals. It just needs to be way more fluid, swapping from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. As a Life Weaver, you're going to output high amount of heals. What separates good Life Weavers from bad Life Weavers is literally the how much damage you output, basically. Any person that picks up Life Weaver is going to have a high number of damage. I'm just seeing a message come through now. I did way more damage this match than usual because everyone was out of LOS, and I'm definitely too used to Life Weaver heal button. Yeah, no, literally, I can already see that. Even the mere fact of you not committing like Petal here. There's no indicator that you're trying to live here. You're running away, you use the dash, okay, you're prolonging your death here, but I'm not seeing you use the Petal, I'm not seeing you run. You see what I'm saying? If you use a Petal to lift yourself, you can dash away, you see what I mean? Like, you can be way less predictable. Right now, you're not giving yourself any sort of hero advantage. The same way that you're running away, every single character in the game can run away, and you die with 3 abilities up. No worries. Okay, in fact, so now let me swap to you and let's see how you're closing this fight. One punch out. We decide to cross through and healers meet you on the other side. It's honestly fine. It's honestly fine.
And I just learned that you can cancel Doom's like jump and his punch. So
Yeah.
I'm thriving.
Your Doomfist gameplay is actually not bad. I think Switch is like the worst console for Overwatch. Definitely the worst console for Overwatch in terms of what you're limited to. So the fact that you're surviving in a
It's horrible.
yeah. The fact that you're hitting those though.
I killed Pharah. I killed Pharah and I'm so proud of it.
Good idea. That's actually huge.
I wanted to get Mercy to jump off the cliff. But...
This is low-key a situation where our Life Weaver should be very busy, so I'm gonna swap over to the Life Weaver here. Okay. I'm gonna ask you guys a difficult question. This team comp here, our little matchup, who is now our primary dive target now that they've swapped off of the Hanzo Widowmaker?
I would be trying to make I can't really hit far in the air. I'm trying to just disrupt Sombra's dives here and punch out Sigma's grasp.
So I like that answer in the sense that you're adapting your playstyle and you're even thinking about the frontline matchup. But what if I told you that in any matchup that has a team composition with a Lucio, other than the Widowmaker Hanzo or the hard Widowmaker comps, what if I told you that Lucio is actually our primary target 99% of the time? I've explained it multiple times with a Lucio Kiri backline. A lot of the time people try and force out Kiri, force out Susie. But actually Lucio is extremely easy to hit if people are attempting to dive. Think about what Lucio actually has in their toolkit to get you off of them. What, like the boop and the amp? If we're forcing a solo amp on just the Lucio, if Lucio is booping us away, he will not live if we continue to go after him, especially if we have the Sombra, especially if we have the Tracer. Do you really think in a situation where Lucio gets hacked and is also a Doomfist, do you think that Lucio ever lives? Lucio is one of the easiest characters in this game to hit and people don't realize that. So right now, I agree you should be trying to farm the, Sig is using hands, punch Sig out every single time. But really, what you can be doing here is going for the Lucio and you'll have way more successful dives. You can bully the Lucio the same way that you were bullying the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker has grapple, Lucio has boot. These are really mid abilities when it comes to peeling for themselves. It's better for peeling for others or being aggressive with them. But yeah. How do we use tree? Yeah? Nothing wrong with that. I actually like that tree. Just banning the Sig, banning the Sig. Okay, So one thing that I will say, you're playing a very boring Life Weaver to the point where me personally, that's the first pull that I've seen this entire time. Um, I'm a true advocate for using things very as frequently as possible. Like if you have pull up and you know for a fact that they don't have anything, then we should go for a pull play as opposed to just waiting for them to flux so you can pull out the flux. Like it's a very good flux. So it's a very good pull. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a very good one. I like it, and I like how you use tree and stuff. But mid fight, I want to speak to you about how valuable high ground is. Right now, oh, okay. Let me put it back. 20 seconds. Look at this entire fight. We're fighting main. They're fighting main, and they have a few on the high ground. We have opportunities to take the high ground at will, especially if we just petal up here. All of a sudden, we have more map control. To random spam in this direction, you can see equal amounts of these things, and the petal cooldown is not very high at all. We can basically get way more value because right now you're playing a very passive position. Look at how you, Mercy, and Sombra are all bunched up here. The pull priority was a bit off as well, I'm not gonna lie. Like, me personally, I would go for the Mercy, but at the same time, either works, but I would have pulled the Mercy personally. That should always be your priority, and I missed that first time around. But even here, like, we're just playing main. This is fine, but like, again, good Life Weaver players are trying to think of ways out. Imagine petaling yourself up here, dashing out, safe little natural cover rotation back out. These are the small things that I want you to be using petal for. Remember, every single ability in the game, we can use aggro, we can use passive. Let me just read that. High ground would have been good there. I definitely don't play high ground enough on anyone but Mercy, I'll be honest. And in general, I'm way too passive. I know that. I don't really like aggressive Life Weaver playstyles in general because I don't think he has the capability to be aggressive. I would rather you just live. But the more aggressive Life Weavers are the better ones. We now use petal and we use dash before the fight begins. If they had any form of dive capability, which they do to an extent, if Sombra and Pharah go on you now, you're dead. You're dead. You can't afford to be doing stuff like that in the pre-fight. Unlucky. This is another situation of you just tunneling on healing your team. I know you weren't even healing her, but let me see what you're looking at. That's huge amounts of damage. That's the sort of stuff that I want to see. You see, okay, cool. You have a beautiful frame where you clearly see a Pharah on you, and you're still looking for the Doomfist. Remember, our Doomfist, is Doomfist in danger here? Straight up, the answer is no. It's a Doom on a Lucio. I mean, sorry, it's a Lucio on a Doom. Why are we like walking past genuine threats to protect someone that lives? You're in more danger than your Doom here. I don't think you understand that. Our Doom should be thinking to get back onto you right now as opposed to you looking to help your Doom. I think it's viable to get a pull, to get peels in this situation. But here, it's just a bit weird that you don't even try spamming the Pharah out. Now you drag yourself out of position. And that's another situation where you just petal over. Okay, cool. I'ma just 4 minutes 30. 4 minutes 30. Okay, imagine these two people are shooting you. This is gonna sound like I'm being really passive aggressive. Wait, I didn't even press that. What? Okay, cool. Now we need to wait for my petal cooldown to come back. Imagine these two people are shooting you. All of a sudden, it's close range. How can they shoot you? There's options to dash out. There's options for me to go here. There's options for me to go here. Even if the range isn't the same, you crouch. You hug the end of your petal. They could walk under, try and shoot you there. You can basically shield dance with the hitbox of your petal. If they try and go there, we step on the other side of the petal. We can play around it. It's a nice bit of like actual cover and it's free high ground. Even if we were to go over here. I play Life Weaver though. I don't know if I have a huge amount of oh no, I don't have Life Weaver on this account. I don't have a huge amount of Life Weaver character hours on this account, but I actually play the Weaver character. And he's very, very versatile. He's very good at living. If someone's chasing me, I could just do a little bit of tech, and I messed up the jump, but you know what I mean? I can just do stuff. All of this is accessible. Obviously, you can get the Life Weaver timing with the super jump up. Watch, imagine I fail this as well, the second I... But yeah, he has a super jump. You can get to places. I'm gonna go straight to 5 minutes. Just a little thing, Doom. In a close range like that, in between bullets, you might as well go for a melee. If you're meleeing, you're constantly outputting damage, and obviously, if you're not shooting, then you get your pellets back, right? So just shot melee if it's like point blank, and you don't ever want to have a time where you're missing that. Good intention. I saw what you tried doing with the movement there.
And I die here.
No way. See, I'm giving you a lot of benefit of the doubt just simply because it is quick play. But you've just
my Switch just lags there, like
okay.
Right there. I hit the home button and then I went back to Overwatch and it lagged.
Fair enough. You had a frame.
And then it came back and I was hacked by Sombra.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had a frame when you accidentally uncloaked the Sombra. If that's the case, just randomly spam. Instead, you turn to the ammo and get down here.
We're outnumbered. How invigorating.
So we're just kind of back up. Okay, in terms of the timing, I want you to be super aggressive when you see a trigger like that. So, here, you're playing for frontline, you're blocking, really nice block by the way. Unfortunate that you can commit that movement ability the second that they pop ult. But your Life Weaver is going to die here. Most likely. Your Life Weaver is going to die here, so you need to be playing for that trade. I'm not going to lie to you. You can even cut LOS with the Life Weaver petal. You can hide. If you petal upwards, it doesn't go through the Life Weaver petal. So that's one way you can cut LOS and make sure Ram's not doing damage to you, Life Weaver. Where even are you at this point? Fair. I would be pedaling upwards, and I would also be pulling someone else upwards onto the petal so that it's cutting LOS for them as well. You have to be thinking very, very smart, right? So here I want you to go hyper aggressive, literally punch inwards at one of their backline, try and trade that death. Nice, we get one. Now we're getting hacked. It's just CC, it's just CC. I would be calling for a potential pull here. What's Life Weaver doing here? Nice, petal, that's huge. Okay, you are composed with the pull. Very composed with the pull. I would probably pull there. Even though I'm telling you to be composed, there's like a very, very nice balance of things where you also want to be early before you're late, right? So obviously the later the better, but at the same time, if you're early, you're actually able to do it without the chance of the person dying once you're committing the ability. I guess you can't really cancel the animation or anything like that. So the second you see the pull animation, they can't die, which is a plus, because not all abilities are like that. But I would probably pull the second I see that my Doom is hacked or like slept. Especially the sleep. Because after the pull animation, they're asleep for like a second and a half because it's a tank, right? Tanks get slept for slightly longer, so slightly shorter periods of time. So that's another thing that I'd be looking out for. Now we have Doom ult, which means that we can go super aggressive here. Even if you want to do one movement ability to take space here, what I would do, okay, you punched in here. We have a tree. Me personally, I would use my movement ability up to tree, and this is also a very nice setup for backline, right? Free heals, set up for backline. You have potential to go for a pull play, but what I would do is go for the ult play, right? So that way, our Life Weaver can use pull on someone else, and I would even call that I have ult, you can pull squishies. I have ult, you can pull squishies. I would call that. So I would set up on tree, get an extra bit of heals, and that way you don't need to force your Doomfist ult so early. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I missed my punch there.
Yeah, but did you go for your other movement ability before the punch? Huge, huge, huge. Yes, because you used the jump. When really, the second you see a res, it should just be straight punch, because you're not going for the kill, you're going for the cancel, right?
Yeah.
I find it interesting that there's not been a huge sign of synergy between the two of you guys. I think you guys are playing your roles fairly well, but there's actually not been many things that are set up. And like that is like a huge advantage to actually having a duo just playing off the back of each other. You guys are playing characters that have like very good synergy, you and the Life Weaver, but you're not actually exploiting that.
Yeah, and I think that'll come maybe as I start playing tank more.
Yeah.
Just
Like I think your Doomfist is actually hard carrying there. Like you're doing a lot. You really are. Where's the pull? Where's the pull? Where's the pull? And this is another situation. There are certain characters that you want to create distance with yourself. Right? You don't want to be stacked with your Doom, because if your Doom gets low and you're stacked, one, you're gonna die, because if your Doom's in danger, you're definitely in danger. And two, your Doom is gonna die because even if you use push, the Doom will have like a very small window of invulnerability, but then after, they're gonna go 5 meters to the left, and then the same people that were shooting them before are still gonna shoot. So before the pull, propel yourself upwards, dash away, and then pull them, or even dash to a health pack and then pull them, leave the health pack whilst also topping them up. You know, it's about ebb and flow. It's about getting in, getting out, being smart, playing around health packs. Your Doom, if the Doomfist is good, the Doom is gonna know how to play around health packs as it is. That's fine. And this is a situation where I would pull aggressively, but in like a defensive way. So let me explain that. Oh, Pharah's just shot me. I would just drag my Sombra. Sombra is having a fight with me now, you know? Like, Sombra is now, we're double teaming this Pharah, pause. And we can actually, like, kill this. Like, we could actually kill this. So, I would pull my Sombra, drag. All of a sudden, it's a 2v1. You're forcing the Pharah out. Your Doom might die. I'll be honest, your Doom might die. But here, it's a perfect example. Not even a meat shield. Think about the, like, damage output. Sombra's helping as it is, and all of a sudden, Pharah has separated herself.
The numbers do not favor us.
Why are you walking towards? We're 2 down. Alright, this is another thing. As a main support, I would want you to be tracking both how much we are down or up in a fight, in terms of like how many people are dead, as well as ult tracking and ability tracking, right? I would want you to think, why am I walking towards my Sombra? Sombra has means of getting out, and you also have the pull, so be early walking out. Because if you're walking forward to help people with movement abilities, what's going to happen? You're going to help them, they're going to use their movement abilities, and you're going to get traded off for it. And if you had forward spawn... Wait, where's Car?
Yeah, our Tracer.
Oh my... Oh my god. So you have... This game is terrible. Tracer just hard carried the game. And even then, you were nicely topping up the Sombra there, but if you were early to get out, you would... Imagine you were dash earlier. You would be out safe. You would be LOSing your Sombra. You would be pulling your Sombra. Also, if your Sombra... In fact, did you get your Sombra killed? This is an interesting thought. Did you get your Sombra killed? Sombra's helping you. Sombra TP's out. No, you didn't get your Sombra killed. Okay, cool. I was wondering if Sombra was able to get out but decided to stay and fight to help you. That wasn't the case, but that's also a possible thing. Let me just read these messages once again. You steal an ally quite often. I've already read that. Back into the fight and ignores the person attacking me. I usually do. I honestly played very bad this match. That's fair. That happens. That happens. Did you just waste empowered punch? Nice on Cloak. Okay. Very, very small tip here. Very, very small tip. You're kind of wandering in the open just before the fight. Just study your character. Look at this character here. You're just in the open. You're backing up. You're kind of walking forward now to where you were before. When really, you should be understanding that they're pushing here. You can see the bot progression. You know when the fight is going to come. So what you should be doing is setting up for your dive.
Should have gone around, yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I love about Doomfist, 8 minutes 40. We're going to the practice range a lot. Just a heads up, my Doom mechanics are like not very inspirational at all. He's one of my least played characters in the entire game. Since Overwatch 2, I actually was quite good at DPS Doom, but
I started playing just like a few months ago, so
yeah. No, you're quite good. Few months, Diamond. So the thing is, right, if I'm on Monkey is my best tank, and I want to hit what I'm tagging here. The obvious route is to walk down here you know, and just dive what I'm pinging right now. But in a realistic game scenario,
Taking high ground and
at
then
a
dropping
high
down.
level, it would be 1. Okay, cool. We're poking for a bit. We're poking for a bit. Another jump cooldown. We're gonna jump. And then we're gonna engage. We're gonna pop bubble. All of a sudden, we get the kill. And then we get out. Okay?
Mhm.
That's the format of a monkey dive. D.Va is even worse. D.Va literally can't hard dive in this game. Because D.Va needs to be protecting people. The time it takes for her to set up, actually kill something, wait 4 seconds, and then come back, just unrealistic. So we don't ever do in and out dives with D.Va. But once again, she requires a setup. But then, all of a sudden,
Our future will be full.
I want to hit this on Doomfist. From here, Doom is on it. Does that make sense? Doom has the block to sustain. Even if he's slept, by the time he wakes up, he's back out. And so, in high level play, we say that Doomfist does not require a setup. Because no matter where he is on the map, he gets things. Like, he gets things? What am I saying? Coffee, what are you saying? He gets things? No matter where he is on the map, he can get anywhere else. He can literally get anywhere else in the space of a second. Imagine someone ping something. Oh, someone's won. I'm coming back from spawn. But I hear someone's won. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that you want to exploit on Doomfist. For sure. This is what I mean when I say, oh, bring multiple replay codes, but who knows? Because I think that we're actually getting a whole bunch of value from this. To be honest, it's a good code. It's a very good code.
Yeah. We were also Artemis, our tracer, is our friend. They run our stack.
Okay. Wow, did they not want coaching?
He didn't pay us.
We've already seen all of this, right?
Yeah.
We've still seen all of this. Wait, have we? I'll speak from here anyways. No pressure in the backline. The random dashes. Cut out the random dashes. I'm talking to Life Fever here. It's just random. You're dashing forward when that's your only escape and it's your only self-heal. You need to be treating that like as your self-heal. As well as your disengagement. Nothing else. Nice. They're committing ults. They're committing ults. This is good. In a situation where it's lost, I think Doom is also very good at forcing ults out. So we need to look for as many ults out. Because we want the ult advantage when it comes to actual overtime situations. The team that uses the most amount of ults the best in overtime basically just wins the entire game. To be fair, in the last 42 seconds of this, there's not gonna be a whole much. And at this point, I believe we have like 20 minutes of this session. Just simply because we started slightly late. So let's go over and we can skim the second replay code real quick.
Awesome. It is Dorado wants that. 6v9 EB3.
Sorry, I completely zoned out. What?
Let me type it in.
I heard like, yeah, I
You
realized. Sorry.
I think it's this one.
Oh, when you were telling me
You
that.
have. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, when you were telling me the code, I realized that you were speaking to me when you were on 9. So I was like, there's no point in me even like.
No, I have audio processing disorder too. So I'm like, I think I need subtitles.
Yeah, I always play in with subtitles. But then again, like I also like I can barely read. Like no, not like that, but like it takes me a lot of conscious effort to like actually read. So like if I'm playing the game and I need to read, then it's bad. Like I even have to like tunnel vision out people saying I need healing because I will look to my screen, read, and then look at my screen again and realize that I'm dead because I was busy reading I need healing. It's like
Mhm.
really bad. Mm-mm. I do not know how I played on this one. To be fair, like you guys have paid for a lot of sessions, so this is a start.
I just don't know if I have another. I don't think I have an Esperanza code saved. If that's the one you're talking about, Sma.
It's
I do forget a lot.
nah, it's all good. Like we could still cover this one or go over the principles and things that like still applies to playing other characters. But what you guys have like another 7 sessions, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, and
Like you guys are gonna be
I mean,
chilling.
I'm sure we'll get more after that.
Yeah, says exactly like fair. Like
Like, I'm not stopping until I'm GM, top 500 or higher.
that's what I like to hear. I like that. Um,
Top 500 adventurer.
nah, for sure. Like I could definitely get you there. I think the foundation's there on the Doomfist. Like, even though what are you on Xbox on this game or is this
I
another?
honestly don't remember. Ignore that.
And they say chivalry is dead. And they say chivalry.
Okay, so once again, what do we want to play into on this enemy team? Who can we actually hit? On Doomfist, I'm not gonna lie, this is a very good matchup for you because you can hit 4 out of the 5. Obviously the one that you can't hit is Orisa, no point. Everyone else you definitely can. So, how can we find synergy between the Hanzo and the Doomfist, do you guys think?
I was focusing Widow here. I was focusing Widow and then trying to hit their Lucio, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did at one point ask for a different support lineup. Got the Mercy was not very nice to me.
They never are. Um, one thing that I will say, this is gonna have you thinking about Doomfist in a completely different way with this one bit of advice. Your win condition never ever ever has to be playing to hit and kill someone. Right?
Yeah,
If
I
we're
was
playing
just
with a
trying to
duo,
keep her off of killing my team.
yeah, exactly. So if you're playing with a duo that doesn't have a whole bunch of like natural synergy between characters, we can try and create like almost synthetic synergy, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So, you wanting to dive on Doomfist, and then obviously Hanzo does Hanzo things. He deals damage, blah blah blah. But what you could do is literally look to dive only things that your Hanzo has body shot. Because all of a sudden, that is a trigger every second. Hanzo can shoot every second. Hanzo might hit a shot every 3 seconds, which means you all of a sudden has something to dive every 3 seconds. Do you see what I mean? You can now wait. And what would you do in that downtime? Every 3 seconds, if your Hanzo hasn't claimed to have shot anything? I would say that Doom doesn't have a whole bunch of poke value, especially into the enemy team. So what I would do is play in high value areas of space. It may seem like downtime, but where does the Widowmaker want to be here?
She wants to be on high ground on one of these 2 rooftops.
Initially, she'll be here, right?
Up there.
Yeah, initially she'll be here.
I was confused why she didn't start up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. Initially, she wants to be there, so just go on her. You know, force her out, potentially get a kill there. If she moves, let's say in 10, 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Oh, Widowmaker is currently deceased. That ruins the fun. All of a sudden, okay, let's see the transition. She got rolled, by the way. That's not even close. Okay, how does that happen?
Mercy standing still. I think got it.
Okay, cool. But my point is, you know that Widowmaker either wants to be here, here, or here. And we've just covered that Doomfist doesn't need a setup, right? So we can go anywhere at will. Why don't we stand in a position we know that Widow wants to either take, or within range of a position that Widowmaker wants to take? If you stand here, we can go here. If you stand here, we can go here. And if you stand here, Widowmaker suddenly can't do this grapple play. Because the second she lands, I'm pretty sure she shoots late as well. She doesn't shoot until she lands. At this point, you can punch her into the corner. You know? And all of a sudden, she's used grapple to get here. She just dies. It's not a Peely playstyle. It's more playing for space. Space is the most important thing. It's the most important thing.
So, yeah, I think here, a lot of the time, I was just not doing a lot, but it did end up being a game that ended up... We played better later, I think.
So yeah, you need to play space. How can I deny the enemy DPS? And also think about how you can enable your DPS. I'm forcing Widow into this position. With combination of smart sonars, let's say we're sonaring places that she could go, whilst holding the position of the other place she can go, we'll be able to get first shot off every single time. Because we can mark off, she's not going to go here because my Doom is here. She's not going to go here because we've sonared here. Which means she's either going to go here or here. Do you understand how that completely limits their capability to actually win the gunfight? Especially if they don't know where our Hanzo is. Hanzo's way quieter as well. So you just have to create synergy and try and do that analysis. How can we actually work things? I guarantee you, this is the whole reason why I go over comps at the start of every single round. Honestly, it's like the meta to honestly like climbing in every single game. Just getting you to think about how to play the game, because it's just like counter picking but like mentally. Like you can create synergy between any character. Right now you could throw 2 characters at me. In fact, Smart, type 2 random characters right now and I'll tell you how to play the characters, any roles, just 2 random characters. Mei and Sigma. This one's actually easy. Okay, there was a Lucio Brawl meta. So when we're playing Mei and Sigma, the comp is actually a brawl comp to an extent with moderate levels of poke. We can play for frontline value. Wall rock, wall rock, wall rock. Wall off one person, we rock. And we just cycle that constantly. It's funny because that was like, in the last patch, that was what we were one-tricking Sigma May comps. Like, at my team Shikigami. Which is like a top, as of last tournament, our placement was kind of bad. Top 25. But like, I peaked top 6 in NA, you know, coaching that team. The real question is Doom Torb, because you're becoming a Torb main. I'll even speak about synergy with Doom Torb. I like having these compositions that we're playing right now. This is like a poke dive hybrid, but I like having characters like it's a mathematical equation, right? So in this situation, replace the Hanzo for a Torb and tell me how the comp changes. The comp literally doesn't change other than the fact that like the Hanzo specifically has one-shot potential. He has the same amount of frontline damage, but Torb has 2 angles that he can hold from. So the only difference is, the only trade-off is the hero-specific ones, where Torb has 2 angles, Hanzo has headshot potential. But in terms of how you actually play the comp, it's the exact same. Does that make sense? Start viewing the game like this, and I guarantee you will actually just win every single game. Like you will just start winning games, because you'll see Overwatch as like lines and shapes and triangles as opposed to like point and click. Like, you'll just be better. You'll be better than the enemies if you do that, trust me. I didn't even finish my Sigma May point. Like, you can basically run it down, but also there's less. You can run it down, wall people, rock people, and delete people, but there's also less pressure for you to run it down. Why? Because May can deal lots of medium range damage, same with Sigma. So if they don't want to go on you, you guys can spam. You guys can spam perfectly fine. Spam, 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 spam. If they do want to run at you, you also have the short range win condition. So that's just an example, okay? And this is just an example of you going first to try and kill the Widowmaker, when really, you can just hold space. You can hold space for way, way longer. And just wait for your Hanzo to hit something. Wait for your Sombra to hack. You know? Let me go to the middle of the game. Middle of the game for like final 5 minutes, let's say.
Yeah, like after second point was a lot better.
After second point? So you want me to go to the best point? I know what I'll do. I mean, this is good. Do you know why I low-key like this?
It makes Orisa turn around and gives my team free. It makes the rest of their team free.
Yeah. So yeah. Overwatch is a numbers game. Overwatch is a numbers game. We're 1-up. Okay.
I also got their ERE pylon there.
Yeah, that's huge as well.
Which is their 3rd support.
No, literally. So the reason why I like this is because think of it as numbers and also downtime. So you guys are all of a sudden 3v3 here. Let's say 1, 2, 3 versus 3. Our Reaper has close spawn, so our Reaper will be back. You guys are 1v1ing. You guys have equal amounts of downtime, because she is closer to the cart, whereas you just need 1 ability to get back. Right? All of a sudden, it's very messy. I was gonna say all of a sudden, we have the numbers game here. But our Reaper is identified, actually, if I stack on my Doom, we can probably win the front line because once again, it's a numbers game. We're taking a 2v1 and we're keeping this 3v3. The timings of the deaths are unfortunate. You now come and assist. You're hitting people. I think we played it really, really well, actually, based on like just adaptations. But what I wanted to show you is a 3v3 here, where you guys have even sight lines. It literally just becomes mechanics. Whoever kills first or whoever aims better wins. Obviously, if your Reaper decided to stay down Mei, we would have definitely won the fight. Because it would have been a 4v3, whilst you guys are 1v1ing and Orisa wouldn't solo kill you. Right? But because people randomly died and you decided to change your target, it was actually very helpful. We forced them back. You're randomly spamming. They're going to deal more damage to you in this situation than you are going to deal to them, right? So this, we can just play around corners because the intention of this game is to kill the clock. We do not need to be shooting if the fight has ended. The fight has ended at this point. They're not going to randomly suddenly walk. We literally don't need to chase. Now, what happens? We force resources. We forced our Valk. Our Reaper has lost all of his health. Remember, health is a resource as well. For absolutely no reason. We could just be playing the corner. And once again, now the ults are being traded. We need to trade that. Either hard kite and wait, which is not going to be likely just simply because we have a Zen and we don't want to force another ult just to get out. So we need to now get super hyper aggressive on their backline in an area where we don't necessarily want to, which is an issue. This is not very good kill box here. We can't really hit stuff because there's so much natural cover. It's hard for us to get in and get out because it's like it's low-key narrow choke points here, you know? That's low-key a narrow choke point. Obviously there's exits, but these sidelines here are very, very narrow, especially when we're trying to hit. You need accuracy in the hit. And ideally we don't want that because why make the game harder for us when the game is a very simple game. Like nice 1-2 fight.
Soon my team just started to push forward.
I mean, this is fine. It's just like it's an
Maybe.
early hold, and if you're forcing resources by the time they win, then we have spawn, we just recontest. Like, you killed the clock and you live. If you live, that's huge. If you live, you got back, you got our healers some extra ult charge, which is gonna help a lot, especially with our healers. We can get Valk every 2 fights if we play this well. So when you go out and overextend like that, our intention should be to build our healers ult charge. But we just need to understand where we kite back to and when we should kite back. But we're still killing the clock. See, that's an example. Cass is stacked on point. You had option to use your movement ability to get out, but you choose not to. That's dangerous. That's really dangerous. Because Cass could low-key kill you here. They used a very early visor. What could you do here? Good intention. I understand that. Obviously, into the Cass, very difficult to do, but I understand the idea of wanting to put the person that has the most living potential in front of the biggest danger. Like, I actually really like that play. I like that play because if you land a slam and if you land a big punch, you have Doom ult anyway. You've wasted half of his visor and you probably trade it off with the Doom ult. Honestly, really, really smart play. Really smart play. This is a high value sightline. I really like this. You're playing into your effective range. Cass can't contest. You don't need to jump. You don't need to close. Okay, cool. I'm very glad because I never got to look at this much of your Hanzo gameplay. I'm glad that I saw this. What can you control from here? No, sorry. What can you control from here that you can't control from here? Panic and push. Exactly. You literally have the same amount of potential to control from either sideline, so why would you put yourself into danger? Remember, this is not aggression. Being closer is not aggression. That's stupid. That's feeding. Okay? This is not aggression on Hanzo. Mm-mm-mm. This is aggression on Hanzo. Do you understand how that's the case? And I had to do it from extremes. Hanzo's aggression is not based on proximity with the enemy team. It's based on the angle. How risky is it? How far away are you from your own tank? That's how you should measure how risky the play is. But this is high value. 1, because you're safe, and 2, because you get kills here. This is also high value. It's safe, but you'll get kills here. And it's less risk because you're closer with your tank. Do you understand that analogy? Good, good. Glad we are on the same page. I think everything else that we kind of covered, I think that's a very, very nice way to end it. I hope it was valuable. It was a bit chop and changey, and it was definitely, okay, in this moment I see you getting value here. Towards the end of the session, I was on people's POVs for slightly longer than I was before. A lot of the time I was on third person, but I hope you guys found value in that little coaching session there, and hopefully I wish you guys
For
success.
sure.
I wish you guys success in your little quick play stacks, but also if you guys improve in rank based off of that, then happy days as well. Can't complain, you know?
Yeah, next week I'll probably make you suffer through my horrible Ana gameplay.
I've probably seen worse anyway, so happy happy days.